بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صاحب السمو الشيخ خليفة بن علي بن خليفة آل خليفة محافظ المحافظة الجنوبية، أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، الأساتذة الأفاضل وأبناؤنا وبناتنا الطلبة، الحضور الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نرحب بكم جميعاً في مدرسة البيان ضمن فعاليات أسبوع الوعي المهني الخامس الذي تأخذ على عاتقها المدرسة إقامته سنوياً، لما له من أثر بالغ في توعية أبنائنا الطلبة وتوجيه دفة طموحهم نحو مستقبل أكثر إشراقاً. وفي هذا العام تشرفنا برعاية كريمة من لدن سمو الشيخ خليفة بن علي آل خليفة محافظ المحافظة الجنوبية للفعاليات المصاحبة لهذا الأسبوع. وخير ما نستهل به فعاليات هذا اليوم آيات من الذكر الحكيم يتلوها على مسامعنا الطالب خالد الكتبي من الصف الثامن، فليتفضل.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها، لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا، ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به، واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا، أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين.
بارك الله في الطالب خالد الكتبي وجميع أبناء البيان. أما الآن أترككم مع كلمة المدير الإداري بمدرسة البيان الأستاذ مدحت المرعبي، فليتفضل مشكورا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Highness, Shaikh Khalifa bin Ali bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, Your Excellencies and esteemed guests, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the Bahrain Bayan School 5th Annual Career Awareness Week. In a world rapidly changing, technology is advancing faster than ever. Many emerging industries did not exist a decade ago. Fields such as data science, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and renewable energy are proliferating and exciting careers opportunities for our students. To prepare our Bayanis, the school has prioritized developing their skills of adaptability, problem solving, and critical thinking to ensure they are well equipped when they graduate from high school. During this week, our students get the opportunity to sharpen their skills by learning from Bahraini elite workforce, from influential individuals in the community and outstanding representatives of reputable and well-established companies. In addition, students expanded their knowledge of higher education by interacting with agents from local and international universities. Prioritizing career awareness and our country's job market demands ensures that our students are well prepared to take on challenges and to succeed in the pursuit of their future goals. Teaching students to seize the day and to explore every opportunity will, no doubt, assist them in their journey in their path towards success. Determining whether they want to go and how they will get there will most certainly facilitate the research for the right and the most suitable degrees and future positions, making a difference in their community and contributing positively to the country economy. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to the inspiring discussions and opportunities that awaits us. Thank you.
كل الشكر للأستاذ مدحت المرعبي على كلمته. أما الآن أدعو صاحب السمو الشيخ خليفة بن علي بن خليفة آل خليفة إلى تسلم هدية تذكارية من مدرسة بيان البحرين، عرفانا منا لرعايته الكريمة لفعاليات أسبوع الوعي المهني الخامس. فلتتفضل الشيخة أسيل بنت خليفة آل خليفة نائب رئيس مجلس أمناء مدرسة بيان البحرين والأستاذ مدحت المرعبي لتسليم الهدية التذكارية. فليتفضل صاحب السمو الشيخ خليفة بن علي بن خليفة آل خليفة محافظ المحافظة الجنوبية لإلقاء كلمته مشكورة.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أصحاب السعادة، الوزراء الكرام، أولياء الأمور، إخواني وأخواتي الطلبة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يمكن أنا اليوم ما جهزت كلمة ورقية لإلقائها أمامكم، لكن أود أن أقدم لكم كلمات شفوية من القلب إلى إخواني وأخواتي طلبة مدرسة البيان حول جهودهم وحول مستقبلهم، وإن شاء الله نحن نقدم لكم هذه النصائح في هذه الأوقات. أود أن أشكر سعادة الدكتورة شيخة مي العتيبي على جهودها الكبيرة في إنشاء هذا الصرح التعليمي البارز مدرسة البيان، اللي هو من أهم المؤسسات التعليمية على مستوى مملكة البحرين. هذه المؤسسة التي خرجت أجيالاً من الأبناء والبنات اللي ساهموا في خدمة مملكة البحرين. فكل الشكر والتقدير والعرفان لسعادة الشيخة مي على كل الجهود اللي بذلتها طوال هالسنين، وشكري وتقديري لسعادة الشيخة أسيل ولجميع المدرسين والأساتذة والطلبة والطالبات. احنا اليوم الحمد لله في مملكة البحرين بقيادة سيدي جلالة الملك حفظه الله ورعاه، وبجهود ودعم ومتابعة من سيدي سمو ولي العهد رئيس مجلس الوزراء. مملكة البحرين هي دائما رائدة في جميع المجالات، في التنمية، في التقدم، في النمو، والبحرين تستاهل كل الخير أن الواحد يبذل جهده لخدمة هذا الوطن العزيز وهذا الشعب الكريم. فأتمنى لكم يا أخواني وأخواتي مستقبل مشرق، وأتمنى لكم أن تبذلون جهدكم الكبير في خدمة هذا الوطن العزيز اللي مهما نسوي ومهما نقول ما نوفي للوطن حقه. فنصيحة من القلب لكم أن اختاروا المجال اللي أنتم ودكم فيه، واختاروا التخصص اللي أنتم خاطركم فيه. لا يكون هناك أي ضغط لأي طالب أو طالبة أو لحد يفرض عليكم أي تخصص أو أي وظيفة. اختار الوظيفة اللي أنت راح تحقق الجهد فيه. فنصيحة لكم أن اتبع المجال اللي راح تجتهد فيه. وهذا اللي نشوفه في مملكتنا الغالية، أن في تنوع. إذا اخترت المجال الطبي الله يوفقك، وإذا اخترت المجال العسكري الله يوفقك، وإذا اخترت أي مجال خاطرك فيه، أهم شيء أنه you do your best وتسوي اللي عليك وتبذل جهدك وتحط البحرين وشعب البحرين أمامك. وهذه هو الأهم. احنا اليوم ما شاء الله نشوف أصحاب السعادة الوزراء الكرام في مختلف المجالات، الإعلام والصحة، التربية والتعليم، العلاقات الدولية، في ما شاء الله مجالات مختلفة. وهاي اللي احنا نفتخر فيه في البحرين، وجود التنوع والتميز في كل مجال. فأتمنى لكم أن تبذلون جهدكم، وترى الدرب ما راح يكون سهل، لازم الواحد يواجه تحديات. وإخواني أصحاب السعادة والوزراء الكرام يمكن هم بعد مثال في جهودهم ما شاء الله في مختلف المجالات، يعملون ليل نهار في ظل توجيهات سمو ولي العهد رئيس مجلس الوزراء. وإحنا اليوم في المحافظة نعمل ليل نهار الحقيقة بمتابعة مستمرة من معالي الشيخ راشد بن عبد الله وزير الداخلية. واليوم مشاركتنا تأتي ضمن حرصنا لتعزيز الشراكة المجتمعية. الشراكة المجتمعية هو نهج قائم لوزارة الداخلية، واليوم احنا ندعم هذا المفهوم بكل طاقة وبكل جهد. لكن إذا بقدم يعني نصيحة صادقة لإخواني وأخواتي الطلبة، يمكن بقدم لكم نصيحة تعلمتها من والدي المرحوم سمو الأمير خليفة بن سلمان طيب الله ثراه، وهي إحدى النصائح اللي كان يرددها لنا دائما، أن أي عمل أنتم تقومون فيه لازم تجتهدون وتبذلون جهدكم في هذا العمل مهما كان العمل. الواحد إذا تولى أي مسؤولية لازم يقدم اللي عليه عشان يؤدي عمله بأمانة وصدق، ويطلب من الله العون ويستثمر طاقته في المجال اللي هو فيه. all you need to do is to do your best and to choose the path that you would like. Don't let anyone influence your idea or your path. Choose whatever path you need to choose and do your best. نسوي اللي علينا وأفضل، ونتوكل على الله ونخدم بلدنا بإخلاص. وهذه هو النهج اللي احنا سايرين عليه. فمهما اختلفت الوظائف ومهما اختلفت التخصصات، يبقى الهدف واحد اللي هو خدمة وطننا الغالي. فأتمنى أني أنا يعني قدرت أوصل لكم هذه الرسالة، وخبرتي يمكن ما تسبق أصحاب السعادة الوزراء والفريق المميز اللي موجود أيضا هني. يعني ما شاء الله عليهم، عندهم مسيرة حافلة بالعطاء في خدمة مملكتنا الغالية. لكن هذه كلمات، ولا شك أن المحافظة الجنوبية، بس حبيت أعطيكم يعني فكرة بسيطة، أن هي المحافظة تعمل على 3 أسس أساسية في حياتنا. عندنا 3 ركائز. الركيزة الأولى هي الأمن، والركيزة الثانية التواصل، والركيزة الأخيرة التنمية. فإحنا اليوم نبني عملنا على هال3 ركائز. يعني we have 3 foundations in the Southern Governorate. The first foundation we have is security, because security is the first basis of our work. It's important to focus on security, on building community partnership. The second foundation we have is tawasul, and the final one is tanmiya, which is development. فهذه الركائز الثلاث، الأمن والتواصل والتنمية، من أهم الأساسيات. فبمناسبة أسبوع المهن اليوم في مدرسة البيان، أتمنى حق كل الطلبة والطاقم كذلك التدريسي والأساتذة كل التوفيق في مجالهم ومدرسة البيان، بجهود سعادة الدكتورة الشيخة مي والشيخة أسيل. وترى يعني والد الشيخة أسيل كان وزير العمل في الثمانينات، المرحوم الشيخ خليفة بن سلمان بن محمد. ووالدي الشيخ خليفة الله يرحمه كان دائما يذكر المرحوم الشيخ خليفة بن سلمان بن محمد بالخير، وكان مثل في عمله في وزارة العمل والتنمية في الثمانينات، وقدم يعني نموذج مشرق للوزير والشخصية الوطنية البارزة. ولن جامل الشيخ أسيل، لكن يعني عمل باجتهاد لخدمة وطنه، ويعني هو قدوة ما شاء الله في مجال العمل. كارير اويرنس مو بغريب انه يكون عند الشيخه اسيل والشيخه مي ان يدعمون هذا المجال، فهو مجال المرحوم الشيخ خليفه اللي كان له بصمات واضحه في مجال وزاره العمل يعني، وكان له دور كبير. فتمنياتي لكم بالتوفيق والنجاح، والبحرين تستاهل كل الخير والتأييد والجهد، وأتمنى لجميع الطلبة والطالبات إذا إن شاء الله بيدرسون في الخارج أو يدرسون في البحرين، أتمنى لهم المثابرة والجهد والتوفيق والنجاح، وإن شاء الله يخدمون البحرين بالمجال اللي هم يختارونه، والله يوفقكم. ومرة أخرى أود أن أعبر عن خالص شكري وتقديري للشيخة مي العتيبي، وأتمنى من الشيخة أسيل ومن جميع العاملين في المدرسة أن ينقلون تحياتي الصادقة وعلى هذا التنظيم الرائع. وهذا مو بغريب على مدرسة البيان، من نيجي حق احتفال ولا مناسبة ما نشوف إلا أحسن الترتيبات، وما نشوف إلا المستوى الرفيع واللائق اللي ما نقوله مجاملة لكم لأن احنا موجودين هني، بس ما نشوف منكم إلا كل خير والمستوى اللي يشرف. فأمانة أود أن أشكر جميع القائمين، وأنا اليوم يشرفني أن أنا أشارك لأخاطب إخواني وأخواتي الطالبات، وأنا كنت يوم من الأيام ترى في نفس المكان، يمكن قبل أزيد من 10 سنوات كنت طالب في مدرسة الثانوي، يمكن في مدرسة بن خلدون مو في مدرسة البيان، لكن أيضا مدرسة البيان لها مكانة رفيعة ومكانة مرموقة، وهذه المكانة يعني كسبوها من خلال شغلهم وجهد الشيخة مي اللي الحقيقة لمساتها وجهودها واضحة في كل مجال. وما شاء الله يكفي أن السنة حافلة بالبرامج، يعني كل شهر يمر لازم مدرسة البيان عندهم برنامج أو فعالية أو إيفنت، وهذا الشيء احنا نتابعه في المحافظة الجنوبية، لأن الشراكة المجتمعية من أهم مفاهيم وزارة الداخلية. في الختام شكرا لكم وتحياتي وتقديري للطلبة ولأولياء الأمور، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
كل الشكر لصاحب السمو الشيخ خليفة بن علي بن خليفة آل خليفة على كلمته. أما الآن فإن شكرنا وعرفاننا موصول لأصحاب المعالي والسعادة، الوزراء الموقرين والرؤساء التنفيذيين والمسؤولين المشاركين في إنجاح هذه الفعالية، وأيضا يشرفنا تكريم جهودهم. بداية سعادة الدكتورة جليلة بنت السيد جواد حسن وزيرة الصحة. سعادة السيد نواف بن محمد المعودة وزير العدل والشؤون الإسلامية والأوقاف. الدكتورة الشيخة رنا بنت عيسى بن دعيج آل خليفة، الأمين العام لمجلس التعليم العالي، نائب رئيس مجلس أمناء مجلس التعليم العالي. سعادة الدكتورة الشيخة منيرة بنت خليفة آل خليفة، مدير عام أكاديمية محمد بن مبارك آل خليفة للدراسات الدبلوماسية. سعادة السيدة نوف عبد الرحمن جمشير، الرئيس التنفيذي لهيئة التخطيط والتطوير العمراني. سعادة الشيخ محمد بن خليفة آل خليفة، الرئيس التنفيذي للنمو الرقمي في شركة باتلكو. وفي الختام نجدد الشكر لصاحب السمو الشيخ خليفة بن علي آل خليفة على رعايته الكريمة لفعاليات أسبوع الوعي المهني الخامس لمدرسة بيان البحرين، كما الشكر موصول لكافة أصحاب المعالي والسعادة لتلبيتهم دعوتنا اليوم ومساهمتهم الفعالة في إنجاح هذا الملتقى بإذن الله، كما الشكر موصول لكافة القائمين عليه من إداريين وأساتذة. أما الآن ندعو المشاركين في الندوة الخاصة لسعادة الدكتورة الشيخة رنا بنت عيسى آل خليفة للبقاء في القاعة نفسها لمباشرة الندوة. دمتم بعطاء من أجل هذا الوطن المعطاء، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Dear guests present with us in Bayan Hall or attending the streaming virtually, good afternoon. Our session today aims to inform the work of the private schools' educational leadership and college counselors in order for them to deliver the best services to their graduating students. Who's better to lead such discussion than Her Excellency Dr. Shaikha Rana, bint bint Duaij Al Khalifa, the Secretary General of the Higher Education Council, Deputy Chair of the Board of Trustees of the Higher Education Council, and member of the Supreme Council for Women in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Please help me welcome her on stage. Thank you. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be with you here. And if you would allow me, I'd like to give a special thanks to Her Excellency Shaikha Dr. Mail Atebi for giving me this opportunity to shed light on our higher education sector during your Bahrain Bayan School's Career Week. Thank you so much. And a special thanks also go out to Sheikh Asil for welcoming us today here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your warm thanks. So I'm going to go ahead and start by asking you if you could describe to us the roles and responsibilities of the Higher Education Council.
Yes. If I will go back in time, I'll give you a bit of a background on the higher education sector in Bahrain. The higher education law came out in 2005, and the establishment of the Higher Education Council, I think, was since 2008. At that time, it was part of the Ministry of Education. In 2020, we saw an amendment to the law that came out, and it separated higher education from the Ministry of Education. So the higher education now is a separate entity, and the most important role is that it's a regulator. It regulates our higher education institutions here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. So we will prepare the general policy for our higher education and scientific research. We are there to set the bylaws of higher education. I was appointed as Secretary General of the Higher Education Council and Deputy Chair of the Board of Trustees of the Higher Education Council in May 2021. So at that time, we started looking at the sector as a whole, and we saw that our bylaws were a bit we saw that they needed some updating. Mm-hmm. We worked on them, and I'm happy to say that they're out this week. So
that's great news.
Yeah, it's great news. So the second part is the setting the bylaws, licensing higher education institutions. Any higher education institution, what is a higher education institution? It is an institution that would give you an academic degree post 12th grade. Mm-hmm. So they need to be licensed. So we license them. We look at the academic programs that they provide, curriculum. We make sure that they're up to international standards when it comes to all of this. We follow up on the higher education institutions, academic programs. We monitor them. We make sure that all classes are within the requirements. And finally, I think I could say that we encourage investment mm-hmm. in the higher education field. Higher education in Bahrain started before any of our neighboring countries. The first institution to give a higher education degree was actually our nursing college in 1959 with the establishment of this nursing college. So Bahrain really has a very rich history when it comes to post-secondary education.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. So you talk to us a bit about the history of the council, how everything came about. Can you tell us a bit about the vision of the council moving forward?
Well, yes. Moving forward, the higher education, this is one of the main things that I looked at upon resuming office at the Higher Education Council. Um, I'd like to see Bahrain as a center of excellence when it comes to higher education. I would like to see Bahrain a hub for higher education in the region. How can we achieve this? How can we become a center of excellence? By providing the top quality education in the kingdom. We have academic degrees that are tailor-made within our HEIs, and we also host international programs. So I keep telling presidents of our universities that let's bring the best to Bahrain. Why not? When we'd like to host a program, let's see the best programs and bring them here. So those students from neighboring countries or even a bit further, instead of flying 12 hours or 18 hours to get a degree, why don't we provide it here in Bahrain, and you can study here in Bahrain, and we'll make sure that we're giving you the best that we can when it comes to those modern academic degrees that are available. This is where I see the HEC, but we also have to look at our labor market. So when it comes to international students, it's open. We can offer whatever degrees the international market requires. But when it comes to Bahrainis here in Bahrain, I need to align all of my academic programs in order for them to be adapted to the labor market.
Absolutely.
It's very important that our graduates know where they're going. So if they were to come into university, apply for an academic degree, it's very important that they see the future and they could look beyond the 4 years. So I keep telling students, don't choose a university just because of the name or just because you like the campus, etc. I mean, look at the degree that you would like to study. Look beyond the degree. What will happen in 4 years' time? Do you see yourself working in this field? Do you see yourself fit? I mean, you're going to be spending, quite a number of years in this field. So it's important to do what you love. It's important to study what you like. If you follow your passion, and there's so many opportunities out there. The world is changing so dramatically that we need to keep up pace. The principal was speaking earlier about the new programs when it comes to artificial intelligence, data analytics, and all of those. Those are programs that we actually opened here in Bahrain in 2021, 2022. If you were to talk about a business degree, business degrees are so general. Let's look at the specifics. So we cannot generalize a degree just because it's business. We can't generalize a degree just because of the title. Let's look within the curriculum, and this is what we're doing. We're looking within the curriculum. We're looking within the books that the students are going to be reading. We're looking at specific details, and most importantly, we look at the skills that those students would obtain at the end of the degree. And it's all together. It's the academic degree, it's the number of papers you're going to write, it's the skills that you acquire. This is what would shape a student at the end of their career.
Absolutely. Thank you for this. So you were given advice to students. What would you tell parents that normally go against the students' wishes or their children's wishes? Do you have any advice for them?
To the students, I would tell the students to follow your heart, see what you're best at, and don't listen to your parents too much. I mean, the parents always have the best interest, but the person, the student themselves would know what's best for them. The counselors, I think we have a couple of counselors here.
Yes,
so
many.
The counselors, it's very important to see your students and get to know them, and sit with them, talk with them, and see their best, capabilities, and then maybe you could help them, you could help direct them, because 16, 17, 18-year-olds don't really know what they want to do. They can't even figure out what they're going to do tomorrow. So bear in mind what degree. And sometimes there's like peer pressure, sometimes pressure from the parents that, you know, I'd like my son or daughter to be a doctor, to be an architect, to study all of those, you know, degrees. But there are certain capabilities to each person, and let's bring the best out of everyone. Although we do believe that a person does change their career right now, you don't really stick to a specific degree, you don't stick to a specific job, people keep moving around. I think many years ago, a lot of people who went into the labor market, they had the same job from day one to retirement. But right now, the jobs are changing all the time. That's why with our new regulations that are out, we've introduced flexible pathways. Flexible pathways means that a student could go in to get an academic degree in engineering, and then all of a sudden they would work in that field for a couple of years, and then they decide, no, I'd like to be maybe a diplomat. Why not? Go back to school, you could study, get a degree in international relations, for example,
Yes.
and get into that. So we have certain degrees. I think engineers is a base. Engineers, lawyers, I think these two degrees are a base. People who tend to study those two degrees could do well in anything else.
They have many skills.
Yes.
Going back to the higher education landscape in Bahrain, would you say that it meets the needs of the market nowadays? Students would like to graduate, and a lot of times they're looking for certain majors. Do you think what's offered in Bahrain right now meets the market?
I think we've gone a long way when it comes to higher education in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Even before the higher education law came out, as I said earlier, we had our first college in 1959. It was always there. The Arabian Gulf University's headquarters is here in Bahrain. It's based in Bahrain. And why did the GCC countries, decide to establish such a university? It's because of the foundation. It's because of our, strong educational foundation here in Bahrain. When it comes to describing the landscape of the higher education sector, past 2 years we worked very closely with the BQA, which is the Bahrain Quality Assurance Agency. So they actually look at the quality of the academic programs that are given, and we at the higher education, we license and we license not only the institutions, but also we license the academic programs. So we have a very close relationship. Right now, any academic program that is licensed by the HEC is placed on our national qualifications framework. So it's placed, it has a certain level. This means that the degrees are out there. You could always, you have the flexibility of going into the labor market, back into the academic studies, and vice versa. So it's getting a degree and working is not the end of the route. You could always upgrade, you could always upskill yourself. We looked at our private and our public higher education institutions. We looked at our international rankings in order for Bahrain to be a center of excellence for higher education. Of course, international students would look at the rankings of our HEIs. So we conducted certain workshops with the QS. We have advised our other HEIs to apply and to enter this international rank. We have aligned all of our programs with the government action plan. government needs, just to make sure that we have, suitable, Bahrainis with specific degrees that could come in and work in our government. We have looked at Bahrain's Vision 2030. We've aligned all of this. So when we look at a certain degree, we look at it at all angles, and we make sure that it's to the best interest of the country.
It seems to be a holistic process,
Yes.
and a lot of entities are involved. What about the job market? So in Bahrain right now, what are the jobs that are in need? So what would you tell our students going, for example, into law or business or engineering or medicine? Are these careers still viable? Do we still need them in Bahrain? Is there anything on the rise that students should look out for or major in?
Well, I think if I look at all of the degrees that are available, I think what we learned from COVID-19 is that we need some more nurses here in Bahrain. So when we looked at the medical sector, we have a good number of doctors, but when it came to nurses, the numbers were a bit low. So we could always look at that. When it comes to medicine, we have 3 different universities that offer these degrees here in Bahrain. The Arabian Gulf University, we have the University of Bahrain through the Nursing College, and last but not least, RCSI, which we're very proud that it is here in Bahrain. And it's been established since 2004, so for quite some time. And I'm very proud to say that we're really proud about this institution because we have students from 50 different countries right now. So the mixture of all of those students from different parts of the world, I think the experience that the students get from one another is really, really great. The degrees, yes, we might have a big number of academic programs when it comes to law, but it's needed. We can't shut down our law colleges just because there is a large number, but we could advise students that look beyond the 4 years, and where do you see yourself? Do you think that you would be able to get a job? Because as I said earlier, law is important. It could always be a base for your academic degree. And don't limit yourself to a specific job. Don't say, I'm going to study law because I'd like to be a lawyer. You could study law and you could do whatever you want. You don't have to limit yourself to a corner and, let's see what's beyond each degree. As I said earlier, we try to look at the new programs. So we've opened a lot of programs when it comes to artificial intelligence, when it comes to data analytics, data science, Internet of Things. These are all new degrees that are available. So the market is changing, and let's look at the job market, because we might have a lot of we might have a lot of students who would like to have a specific degree because they would like to work in this field. But let's see the fields that need people to come into. And then just look at that and choose your degree based on that. But if you see the chart here, these are the skills that we're looking at, and these are the skills that the future market is looking to get. So, I think everyone has. You need to learn how to define the problems, think strategically, think out of the box, look at things with the innovation side, be flexible. You need to learn how to handle pressure. I think in any place of work, pressure comes in different ways, and you need to be cool. You need to learn how to deal with all of that. You went to school, you went to university, you acquired all the skills, so I think from that point, it's just up to you. Yeah.
Would you say there's one skill, that you prefer students having, or one skill that you say you must have that going into the world today? Obviously, there's a lot of them. I see leadership, emotional intelligence, analysis. There's so many. What is your favorite, or which one would you say, will benefit students the most?
I think being flexible.
Being flexible.
You need to be flexible. You need to adapt. You need to adapt to the circumstances. You need to adapt to the changes that occur. We can't control things that change, but we have to adapt to the changes. And you really have to love what you do. You need to be passionate about what you do. There's always something unique about any position that you would get, or any role that you might be in. But learn to find the best in it and give your best.
Thank you for this. Going back to medicine, I know a lot of students that want to go into dentistry, for example, or physiotherapy.
Yes.
They complain that the degrees do not exist in Bahrain. Are there any plans to encourage universities to have them here?
Yes, we don't have any dentistry schools here in Bahrain. We used to have physiotherapy, but I think they shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
So I would encourage maybe the private HEIs that look at the labor market, look at what the needs are, and if they would like to open any of those programs, so be it. Let them apply, and we'll be more than happy to accommodate all of this. We worked on we worked on a lot of things at the HEC recently after my appointment, but we worked on making it easier for the HEIs to apply for a new academic program. Everything is online now. We're paperless. We changed the 36 papers, for applying for an academic degree to a one-pager, and then we'd like just to see the program itself. So, and we reply back within a month on any academic program, whether it's approved or denied, depending on the labor market's needs. But we reply back, so all the universities know that, they'll get their answer back quick.
That's amazing. Let this be a platform, perhaps, and a message.
Yes.
For students that want to travel abroad, so a lot of times the majors do exist here, but students say, well, I want to travel. I don't want to stay in Bahrain. What would be your advice to these students?
Well, it's up to the student themselves, and it's up to the capabilities of the student and their parents. So if they would like their children or to study abroad, or if someone would like to study abroad, go for it. Go for it, because end of the day, you're going to use the education, you're going to study there, and you'll be back, and you'll benefit Bahrain. And as I said, we would like to see an international scene here in Bahrain when it comes to higher education. So we would like to see not only Bahrainis in our HEIs, but international students in our HEIs. So I think it goes both ways. We'd like Bahrainis to be here and to study abroad, and bring in people from around the world to come and study Bahrain, live in Bahrain, see Bahrain. We've seen that so many people who come here and live here, they love Bahrain so much that they tend to stay. So, give it a shot. We're providing excellence when it comes to higher education. We're providing hosted programs. We're trying to bring the best. We're trying to host a lot of international programs here in Bahrain. The professors that teach are the same professors as they are in the university that they actually came from. So it's the same quality of education. So we have a lot of programs from the US. We have a lot of programs from the UK. So why not have the top quality of, the best of the US education system or the UK system here in Bahrain, and come study here in Bahrain and live in Bahrain for a couple of years.
That's the vision, and we hope it becomes reality.
Yes.
In terms of scholarships, for students that graduate high school, does the Higher Educational Council collaborate with the Ministry of Education in terms of criteria or majors that are chosen that get these scholarships or get dibs?
Right now, the scholarships are within the department, I think, of scholarships within the Ministry of Education. They're not part of the HEC, but I mean, our research is there, and we could always work together to see, to help out and see where because we do a lot of studies when it comes to the initiatives that the government comes out with, like our tourism initiative, our industrial initiative, and we look at those initiatives and we see, because it's usually a 4-year plan, so within these 4-year plans, what are the job opportunities? And do we offer those academic degrees that would provide graduates to have these specific degrees or skills to work once these initiatives are done and are in place? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So these research papers are given to our universities, and universities usually pick their degrees based on this because they also need help. I mean, sometimes they would like to open new programs, but they need direction. So we're there to offer this direction. And we have a very close relationship between the Higher Education Council and the Ministry of Labor. And we look at the unemployability rate, and we look at the degrees that those job seekers have, and why can't they find a job. So we wrote some letters out to some of the universities to limit the intake when it comes to specific degrees. But if they're able to get international students, it's based on the capacity of the university. But when it comes to Bahrainis, let's limit them in specific fields, and we could increase them in other fields.
Yes.
Based on that, on that capacity. We embedded entrepreneurship in our business academic programs throughout all of the universities here in Bahrain. I think this is something new, and you could study entrepreneurship as a degree itself, but otherwise it needs to be embedded within the curriculum, so we already started that. We revised all of our curriculums when it comes to banking and finance. We conducted a roundtable with the Bahrain Banking and Finance Association a few months ago. We brought in all the deans of the business colleges here in Bahrain, private and public. We sat together, we talked about the curriculum, and the banking sector talked about the skills that they would like to see. Because most of our banks here offer internships, and through those internships, they cover the gaps.
Yes.
So why don't we offer that within the 4-year degree?
Yes.
So we've done that. So the revision of the academic programs is always done when it comes to banking and finance, when it comes to business, even law. We required, because we have different degrees when it comes to law. We have some universities that offer law purely in Arabic. Some programs are bilingual, Arabic-English. Some classes are in Arabic, some in English. And then we have the LLM, which is just completely in English. So the programs that are purely in Arabic, we gave them a year for the universities to revise their curriculum, and they need to put in some English classes. I need the graduates to be able to speak bilingually in
Yeah, be
Arabic and
bilingual.
English when it comes to the legal language.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for this valuable information. Do you have any last advice, any tip for the college counselors here with us today?
Well, just as I said earlier, know your students, see their strengths, look at their grades, see how well they do in their classes, read what their teachers write about them, and try to direct them to the right way. But as I said, a lot of people change their degrees right now, so flexible pathways is there. We encourage flexible pathways, but it's important that they follow their heart and they follow their passion. And they study something that, they would like. And it's very important to wake up every day and to love what you do and be enthusiastic about it. Day one, just like day 1,000 or whatever.
Yes.
So study what's close to your heart.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this. On this note, I'd like to open the floor for everyone present. If you have any questions for Shaikha Rana, please just raise your hand and a microphone will arrive.
Thank you so much, Shaikha, for such a valuable experience. And I've been in education all my life, but you summed it up in a very simple way for our new graduates. My question is, with the new generation, they are very high-tech. They are very much linked to technology. My personal advice, yes, use technology as a mean, but there are paths for technology, which is IT. But technology would have to be mixed with, the base of the knowledge. For example, if I'm taking medicine with technology. If I'm taking, for example, engineering with technology. Would you agree with this approach?
I definitely agree with what you're saying. IT is everywhere. The number one academic program that anyone can obtain and get a job is IT. It's the highest. So IT is not IT when we went to school 30 years ago. IT now is IT everywhere. As you said, it's in medicine, it's in engineering, it's in all of the different academic programs that are out there. So everyone has to have a background with IT. Right now, we're completely digital. We're moving paperless, and apps are playing a big role in all sectors when it comes to food and hospitality, medicine, all of those sectors. So IT probably is a degree that also can be in different programs. And I think they are. We've seen it. We've seen the trend. We've seen it with the data analytics. We've seen it with the Internet of Things and all of those degrees. So maybe I could say that if you really don't know what you'd like to study, maybe you could consider IT, because you know that you would get a job. It's, it's a quick win. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
How do you know what's the lack in the market? Do you depend on the universities to do that, or do you have your own research and what we are missing in the market? يعني الحين مثلا we have a lot of students who study psychology.
Okay.
But they don't know where to go next, and they don't know after psychology what do we need. We have a lot of lack in schools for somebody who would do assessment for kids, kids therapists, we lack that. We lack couple therapy. We lack a lot of these things. So do you do research for that, or do you depend on universities to do their own research?
Well, there are two things. Whenever a university comes to us, when they apply for an academic degree, we ask them for a feasibility study. And with this feasibility study, it indicates the labor market needs. So it gives us an indicator of how much, this program is needed or not. And the feasibility study has to be from an accredited company and not in-house. So it gives us an idea if this is a needed program or not. This is number one. Number two, the labor market. We know through the Ministry of Labor, because they have the job seekers, but they also have the the list of jobs that are not filled. And then we could say that we need some more counselors when it comes to this or that. We have a very close relationship with the Bahrain Chamber for Commerce and Industry. And they also work with us when it comes to the industrial sector and the commercial part of jobs. So they give us updates on that. So this is, putting all this together, our research section at the HEC come up with the needs of the labor market.
At who? The jobs that are still filled by non-Bahrainis, and
yes,
that Bahrainis can fill them up, and what degrees they need.
Through the Ministry of Labor.
So, and do you advise universities to
open? Yes, we advise them. Mm-hmm. When it comes to private universities, we advise them, because end of the day, there are, it's a private universities and they have investors. So there's not much that we can do, but we could advise them in a certain, to open certain programs. But I think answering this should be, this question should be directed to our public universities. Our public universities need to provide the academic programs that the labor market actually needs. Mm. And they need to open and close programs or limit programs on that basis.
Thank you for this. Do we have another question?
I think there's one there.
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Betul from St. Christopher's. I actually have an input to add to the comment and Your Excellency's comments as well. I think I definitely agree with the fact that we need to prepare students and graduates to be able to get a job in our local market. But I also think that if private universities or the state universities are offering programs such as AI or anything else, which we don't have, currently we don't have jobs in the local market, I still think that it's a great opportunity for Bahrainis to find jobs outside Bahrain. So if they're going to travel to the Gulf or to anywhere else internationally, it's really good that we've given them the certificate and the qualifications for them to get a job outside Bahrain and to represent Bahrain outside. Thank you.
Yes, I agree with you. Part of the plan, when we got the Saudi recognition to all of our higher education institutions, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia only recognized programs at the University of Bahrain, Arabian Gulf University, some of the programs at the Royal University for Women. So I worked very closely with my Saudi counterparts, and we got full recognition of all of our programs, all of our private HEIs, in addition to Bahrain Polytechnic. So this not only gives us the opportunity for Saudis to come and study in Bahrain, but it would give the opportunity for Bahrainis to go out and work in the Saudi market. Because anyone that would like to work in Saudi Arabia, whether it is the private sector or the public sector, need to get their academic degree certified by their Ministry of Higher Education. So this would give Bahrainis an opportunity to work just across the border. And as you can see, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is going through a lot of changes, and there are a lot of opportunities out there for jobs. So this would give Bahrainis an opportunity to work there. And we always encourage Bahrainis to work abroad. Why not? You know, we encourage them to study abroad, let them work abroad for a couple of years, get the experience that they need, and maybe come back here to Bahrain and share that experience. And wherever they would be placed in any position, it's an added value to our economy. And I think higher education is a source, a very big source to our national economy. So the recognition of Saudi Arabia, and hopefully other countries as well, would help us get a bigger number of international students in Bahrain.
Thank you for this. Your answer actually mirrors that of the CPISP program. When we went to their session and they were talking about the scholarships offered, one of the questions was, you know, you're offering these scholarships and students are traveling abroad, and what if they don't come back? You know, what if they work outside and they stay outside of Bahrain? And the answer of the court was, we're Bahrainis, we're always gonna come back here. Let us have this experience outside. Let us shine. Let us bring back, you know, all of what we learn and benefit our economy.
Exactly.
Do we have another question from the audience? All right, thank you very much. Well, on this note, on behalf of our executive chairperson, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the entire BBS community, we thank you dearly for this session, and we hope to welcome you in the future at Bahrain Bayan School. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for this opportunity. Again, I thank Her Excellency Shaikha May Al-Ataibi for giving me this opportunity, to Shaikha Asil, who's here right now with us. I just noticed you, sorry. So thank you so much, and looking forward to next year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.